Hey guys, welcome back to DCS. And yes guys, it's been a long time since I uploaded a proper gameplay video to YouTube. You guys are going to have to forgive me, and I honestly don't have a very good reason why. It's just that I only do this YouTube thing as a hobby. I only do this for fun. So you guys are going to have to forgive me. And it's been what, like three and a half months since I uploaded a proper video. So apologies for that, but I only do this for fun, as a side hobby. But anyways guys, we've gained 40 to 50 new subscribers. A big shout out to you guys. Thank you so much, and a warm welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, and from now on I'm going to try to at least upload 2 videos per week. I'm going to try and aim for that, see if I can do that. But anyways, let's get into today's video, guys. So today's video is going to be about knowing how to employ the AGM-65 E's and the AGM-65 F. Now also guys, keep in mind that the Hornet is still in open beta, so stuff could still get changed, and stuff might not be working. Okay, so if we look at the left DDI, we have the AGM-65 E's, the Maverick E's on the outboard stations, and the F's on the inboard station. And we have a couple of tanks down there, over there, a platoon of T-72s. I'm just going to go ahead and select waypoint 1. And we can see that they're 15 miles ahead of us. So let's go ahead and turn on the master arm mode to arm, and master mode to air to ground. We'll select the AGM-65 E's, the Maverick E's. Those are the laser guided Mavericks. So if you press it twice on the left DDI, you'll see a bore sight. So on the left hand side we have a bunch of fusing options: instantaneous, delay 1 and delay 2, and in the center you get this sort of bore sight image. Okay, so that represents the bore sight of the Maverick. And also on the HUD you have this triangle, which represents where the caged bore sight of the Maverick is looking, and on the DDI in the top right corner you get the caged sign. And also you have this UFC option, and it gives you an option to type in the laser code for the Mavericks. We'll get into that later. And you also have a stepping option as well. You can step between the different Mavericks that you have. So let me show you guys how to uncage the Maverick. So this is the button that you need to press to uncage the Maverick. You need to bind this button to something, either on your keyboard or on your HOTAS, to be able to cage and uncage the Mavericks. So let me go ahead and uncage it so you guys can see. So you can see now that cross is moving from right to left. It's scanning for laser reflection. You can see that triangle is moving as well. Now that it's uncaged, it's moving right to left, up, down, looking for a laser reflection. Now let's go ahead and cage it back up, and let's get the aircraft into a left-hand turn. Now let's discuss the AGM-65 F's, the Foxtrot. So we go back to the stores page, click on it once, and then we can click on it twice to get the thermal image on the left DDI. So you have to click it twice. Now most of the symbology is very similar to the Maverick Echo. Again, you've got the triangle, but except this, the Maverick F is on a thermal imaging contrast guidance sort of system. And on the left you got the similar fusing systems: instantaneous, delay 1 and delay 2, and you also have a ship attack option as well, which allows you to attack ships. And down here you've got 2 different track white, track black options, which I'll try to explain later on. And also over here you have a field of view option, basically allows you to zoom in the display. And also you have the stepping option to step between the different stations on the aircraft. And also you can see it's caged as well, just like the Echo version. You need to uncage it. Now before we can slew it around, we need to assign the TDC to the left DDI. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and you can see that with the diamond now. That means that the TDC is assigned to the left DDI, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So you do that by pressing sensor control switch left, right? So you need to bind the sensor control switches to something on your HOTAS or on your keyboard. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys in the access command how to slew the Maverick around. So you come down here. If you want to choose a TDC controller with an axis, you come to the TDC controller in the access section, and you can bind it to like a mini stick if you have a Warthog HOTAS on your throttle. Or oppositely, you don't have to bind it to an axis. You can just bind it to a hat switch. I prefer the hat switch myself. And you've got the different, TDC right, left, and also you've got the depress button. You'll need to bind that depress button to something. It's the same button that you use to lock up aircraft in the radar. So let's go ahead and uncage it. There we go. Now I have to press the TDC depress button and then slew it, holding it. And then once you let go, it will lock onto something. It will lock onto a thermal contrast, obviously. But you have to let go of the TDC depress button. And then every time you want to move it again, you have to depress it and then move it around. So let's talk about that track white, track black option. I thought that the track white, track black option was similar to white hot, black hot, but obviously it's not. It's mostly to do with what you want the AGM-65 E F to track to. It's either a cold, dark spot or a white hot spot. But yeah, it's interesting. Now a really cool feature of the AGM-65 E F is that you can designate a waypoint as a target, as I'm doing now with waypoint 2, and the seeker head will just slew, as you guys can see. Will slew automatically to that waypoint, which is really cool in my opinion. You can see those tanks down there. Let me zoom in. There we go. Those are the 4 T-72s. So that's really cool in my opinion. You can see on the HUD as well with the symbology. Obviously the diamond represents the waypoint designated as a target, and the triangle obviously the bore sight. That's quite a useful feature. Now we're going to go ahead and undesignate, and then we'll turn the aircraft to the right, and we'll head out over to the sea, and we'll begin engaging those tanks with the AGM-65 E's first. And obviously the AGM-65 E's require the assistance of a JTAC at the moment, because we cannot self-laze. So let's go ahead and go to the stores page, select AGM-65 E's. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and contact our JTAC. Our JTAC is on frequency 133. His code name is Axeman.
Dodge 1-1. This is Axeman 1.
Now when he gives you the type 2 in effect, that's basically means that it's ready to go.
Ready to copy.
So now he's giving us a lot of important information here. He's giving us the coordinates to where the target is, and he's also giving us the laser code, which is very important. Now to type in the laser code, you come up here to the stores page, you click the UFC and you type in 1688, which is the laser code. And for some reason this time it only stored it for one AGM, so we're going to go ahead and step to the next AGM, next Maverick, and then click UFC again. Select code. Okay, we'll select code, type in 1688 and enter. So now you can see underneath the two Mavericks 1688. You need to do that in order for the missile to track onto that particular laser. So now we're going to say ready to copy. He's asking for AGM-65 E's. Now we're going to do a read back. This is obviously to let the JTAC know that we're both looking at the same target. We're basically both looking at the same coordinates. Now he's asked us to declare IP inbound. Basically IP is the point right before the engagement area. So basically we're going to turn the nose of the aircraft towards where the target is. Now I'm going to go ahead and select waypoint 1 which is close to the target, and it will give us a sort of a ranging information. So there we go, it's 11 miles ahead that way. So we're going to call IP inbound,
Dodge 1-1. IP
and next we're
inbound.
going to ask him to turn on the laser.
Dodge 1-1. Continue.
There we go.
Dodge 1-1. Laser on.
Now we'll select the Maverick E's,
Laser on.
and there we go. You guys can see that cross flashing. That means that the seeker head has detected a laser reflection, but it hasn't locked on yet because it was caged. Now we'll uncage it, and there we go. It turns into a solid square, and you can see on the HUD as well the triangle is pointing to where the target is. And we're ready to rifle. Press the pickle button, and there we go. Rifle.
Altitude.
Now at this point the missile does not need any more guidance from us. However, the JTAC needs to continue to paint the target with the laser. If we had our own laser pod, we could have done the same. So AGM-65 E's on as fire and forget as the Foxtrot version. Now let's see if we can watch the missile impact. Now if you guys want to know how to set up a JTAC within DCS World, I highly recommend you guys check out the previous video to this one, where I set up those that JTAC and those tanks. There we go.
Shift.
Impact. Splash 1 tank. Now he's called shift. When he says shift, he means he's shifted the laser to the next target. So let's go ahead and turn around, head over towards the sea, and then re-attack again. Now if you guys can have a look at the left DDI, you can see that the seeker head sort of cross is sort of flashing, meaning that it's detected a laser reflection, but it's still caged, so that's why it can't lock onto it. Now a little bit of information about the AGM-65 E's and F's. They're designed basically to take out warships and heavy targets. Their warhead is 300 pounds with a penetrator. They have a maximum range of 20 kilometers or 12 miles. Their speed is about 620 knots. Initially, they were developed. The AGMs were developed by Hughes. Now they're being developed by Raytheon Missile Systems. So yeah, that's a bit of background on the Mavericks for you guys. Now I haven't been able to lock anything further than 8 miles with the Foxtrot version. So let's go ahead and uncage.
Altitude.
And there we go. We got the solid square, and we can rifle. There we go. Now each time you fire a missile, air-to-ground missile, in multiplayer servers, you will declare it rifle. Let's go ahead and put the aircraft into autopilot so we can take a look at the missile impacting. Now we can see one tank burning and 3 other tanks have moved right there. Now, as I said, these missiles were designed to take out heavy targets, the E, Echo, and Foxtrot, so it'd be an overkill for a tank, in my opinion. There we go.
Shift.
Impact. Splash 2. Okay, so this time we'll go around and we'll attack with the Foxtrot version. First, I want to go ahead and put the aircraft into a climb. Select the Maverick F's. Press it twice. We get the picture on the DDI. Now, one important tip, guys, if you want to attack with the Mavericks, don't uncage the seeker head unless you are pointing the caged bore sight of the missile to the vicinity of where you think the target might be, right? So you point the nose of the aircraft and the Maverick to where you think the target will be, and then you'll unlock or uncage the missile, and then hopefully you can find the target, lock it up, and fire at it. Otherwise, it's easy to get into the gimbal limits, and it's easy to get really frustrated with it. So keep it caged until the last moment, until you know where the target is. You uncage it, look for it, lock it up, and then fire. So let's go ahead and continue turning towards the right. So I'm going to point the nose of the aircraft towards there. Now I'm going to unlock or uncage it. Now I can depress the TDC button, slow it around, and then release it when it's next to a target. There we go, it's locked. Let's lock that target up, and we're going to rifle. There we go. Now it's important to release the TDC depress button if you wanted to lock something. So we're going to do the same with the second AGM-65. We're trying to target the right white speck right there, and rifle. At the moment, with the open beta version of the Hornet, there's a little bit of a problem with slowing the Mavericks within the DDI, but that's something that's going to get fixed later on. There we go, splash 1.
Altitude. Altitude.
And splash 2. Good stuff. All 4 tanks taken out. Now guys, that's about it for the AGM-65 E and F. That's all there is to it pretty much for firing. At the moment it's the only precision guided weapon for the Hornet. It gives the Hornet a little bit of a standoff capability as well. You could go ahead and hunt air defense targets with this, like you could engage air defense weapons at a distance with the Mavericks. So we can see 4 tanks burning. So yeah, that's about it. That's about it for the AGM-65 E and F. And over there in the mountain range, there's our JTAC, the M2A2 Bradley that we set up in the previous video. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. That's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, bye bye.